Welcome to this week's episode of the Rangeless Travel Podcast. We're your favorite adventure travel couple, me, Britt, and my partner, Ryan, and every Tuesday, we come on and share stories and tips to inspire you to book that next trip. This week, we are answering the question that everyone has. How much money do I need to save to go traveling? Now, this varies drastically from where you're deciding to go traveling to how you like to travel, and be realistic with yourself when you answer that question. Now, we're going to focus on Southeast Asia because we just got back from a 6-month backpacking trip through Southeast Asia. Now, there are luxurious itineraries you can put together for Southeast Asia, like thousands of dollars a night for these absolutely like majestic experiences and locations. And then there's like super budget. Yeah. And then we fall somewhere in the middle.
Probably on the more budget end of things, but...
Yeah, more budget, but we like save and then splurge on different things.
Right.
Now, I've met super budget. When I say super budget, I mean there's a man that I call Bum Bag Man. I met him backpacking in Southeast Asia the last time I was there. And this man full on just traveled with a hammock and a bum bag. Like that was it. He would rock up to hostels and be like, hey, can I just string up my bum bag here? Can I just string up my hammock here? And sometimes they just say yes to him. And sometimes they'd be like, no, because like he wasn't paying them for this. He was just trying to like sleep there for free. He said that a lot of times he just slept on the beach for free. He just slept in the forest. But like my concern was like, where are his clothes?
He only had one set of clothes.
He only had a bum bag. So, like, there was nothing. And it wasn't a big bum bag. Like, it was a small bum bag. And I was like, excuse me. But where's your change of underwear? Like, I pack undies like I'm going to poop myself, like, multiple times a day. Mm-hmm. Because...
Yeah.
You never know. I'm not alone with that. Other people also pack undies like they're going to poop themselves 3 times a day. It's just what some of us do. It's called being prepared for anything. I digress. But I was like, okay, so where is your but what do you do if you need to do laundry? That was like my biggest concern. What do you do when you need to do laundry? Like, sir, you need to do laundry. And he goes, no, I just wash my clothes while I'm in the shower. So I'm like, so every time you get in the shower, you take your clothes off to get in the shower, obviously, like, right? Like, I thought that was obvious. Like, I'm foreshadowing. So you take your clothes off, you get in the shower, and then I'm like, you wash your clothes, and then, like, you wash yourself, like, but then, like, what do you get in, like, because he had no towel, like, so what do you get in when you get out of the shower? Like, do you just borrow a towel or, like, rent a towel? Because a lot of hostels have towel rentals, and you just, like, sit there in your nakedness until, like, your clothes dry. Like, I don't understand. He goes, no, I don't take my clothes off. I shower in my clothes. And I'm like, sir. He proceeded to tell me how he sudsed up his clothes with whatever soap, because he didn't bring soap. So if someone forgot soap or the hostel like had soap in the shower, he would then suds up his clothes and then like stick his hands underneath his clothes and like wash all his bits. Man didn't use a wash rag.
No.
He definitely doesn't wash his legs. Let's be real. He probably wasn't using soap at all, and he was just lying to me. I don't know.
I doubt he showered at all. He probably lying.
No, I saw him get in there, and then I saw him, like, during the time, like, just sitting in his sopping wet clothes until they dried. But it was annoying because he also, like, didn't carry a phone charger. So, like, every day he was like, can I use your phone charger? And then he'd always... So, like, I don't know. That was too budget for me. That was too much. We do not travel with that. I've only met one person like that forever. But that is super duper travel. Super duper duper budget travel.
Budget. That's extreme.
Yeah, that was, like, way too much.
We're a little bit more moderate than that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll try and save as much money as we can. And so we can splurge in other areas. Yeah. Like, for example... Vietnam, we wanted to do the motorbikes all the way through Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Like, that was, like, bucket list item for both of us. And it's
I had already done it.
You'd already done it. But $250 is the rental for the month for the bike. And then you got to pay a deposit. And it's around $400 or $500. So it's a lot of money. It's a big chunk of change. So for us to afford that, and you don't know, if something happens to the bike, you might not get your deposit back. I hadn't dealt with these people before. My bike got damaged at one point. So, you don't know what happens. So we saved on accommodation. We found the cheapest accommodations we could find pretty much all the time.
Which is really easy to do in Vietnam.
Yes. And we also ate local food all the time. Didn't try and eat any Western food. It was a super budget.
Which, again, is easy to do in Vietnam because the food's really good.
Right. But that's where we
find our balance.
That's where we find the balance. You save on the everyday items to so that you can do something special with what you have left over.
Yeah. And when I'm traveling solo, I do similar things. Like I'll save in places like when I'm solo, I save a lot on accommodation sometimes because I'll just like stay in the cheapest bunk available because like I don't really need more.
Right. Space in a bunk.
Space in a bunk. So I would say but you don't really save that much more as a solo. It's probably costs like 40% more to travel in a couple than it is to
there's economy of scale, like because you split food sometimes. Well, most of the time we split food.
We split everything.
Accommodation, if you're getting two.
Yeah, even toiletries and stuff. Like, we only have one shampoo. So, like, some of those, like, extra things, like, we're just splitting them anyway. So, it's not that much more expensive to go with, like, in a couple than it is to go solo traveling. Now, I think we should hop into numbers. I think we should just hop in to numbers and, like, let's talk about it. Let's break it down and, like, let's figure out how much you're going to need per month to go traveling.
Okay.
Now, your flights in and out. So whether you're going for a month, 6 months, a year, your flights in and out, you're going to have to save the same amount of money. So the longer you go,
the more that spreads out over your whole budget, like the per day cost.
It's spread out more. Yeah, so I would say, like, we found really cheap flights out. So it's the cheapest to fly to, like, if you're going from the East Coast. So we're doing everything from going to the East Coast of the U.S. So, like, the New York area. It was, like, $435 per person to fly into Hanoi. So Hanoi, from the East Coast of the U.S., Hanoi, Singapore, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur are going to be like, those are going to be your hubs, but also like your most affordable flights. So we picked going to Vietnam first based on where the cheapest flights were. The cheapest flights by like $150 per person was into Hanoi. So we flew into Hanoi.
But I think for budgeting, we got lucky with that price, I think.
Yeah.
For budgeting, you want to be budgeting anywhere up to about $1,000 for flights, especially coming home if you have to get home in emergency.
Yes, coming home, the flights are going to be more than going out. So I say per person, budgeting $1,500 to $2,000 for flights out and in.
Yes.
And I would recommend not purchasing your flight back.
No.
Until you're ready to come back if you're going for longer. But if you're only going for like 1, 2, maybe even 3 months, just go ahead and book your return flight away already so that you don't have to worry about it. But I'd say per person, $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah.
That's going to overestimate on what your flights are going to cost. So it gives you some breathing room. If something were to happen, you can pretty much get back to wherever you need to be within like a week within budget. And then if your flights cost less, then when you get home, you have a little bit of cushion room, which is kind of nice to have because
things are expensive.
So flights, $1,500 to $2,000 a person. The next thing you're going to need a budget for is movement. So movement between different countries, if you're going to like different islands in a place, depending on where you're going. So we typically go to one place a month, but that also changes. So you have flights, buses, and ferries. Your buses and ferry prices are going to be pretty set, and they're not going to be too expensive. So they're anywhere from like literally $2 to like $20, $30.
Yeah, on the upper end of things.
Would be on the upper end of things. So you can pre-look. If you know that you want to do Vietnam, for example, or Thailand, you know that you're going to be taking a lot of buses.
Yeah.
And those prices on those buses don't really change. So you can like kind of fix it around the schedule and the budget that you want to do with how many buses and how many places you're going to see. So if you have a smaller budget, go to less places.
Yeah.
Go to less places.
Mm-hmm.
The flights,
depending on where you are, the flights can be very expensive.
yeah, and the flights change a little
Quite a bit.
But I would say to budget for flights, $150 per flight per person between countries or even within a country. Like if you go to Philippines,
it's going to be that much money to fly from one island to the next.
To one island to the next. So $150 per ticket.
Whereas like Indonesia is a little bit cheaper. for
Yeah,
flights. Like,
but it depends
like
if
$60 to $70
but don't-
per person. But then you also have baggage.
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
gonna
the
say.
next thing.
Don't forget baggage. So most of these budget airlines in Southeast Asia have a weight limit of 7 kilograms, which
For
is like
carry-on.
for carry-on, which is about 15 pounds.
That's it, which is very light.
They're
That's very
so-
tough to get down to.
We can't do it with all of
No.
the tech gear that we travel with. Like we physically cannot do it. We do 2 bags, and even if
Yeah.
we managed to get into 1 bag, we would still be overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And those baggage prices are anywhere from like $30 to like $60 just for baggage. We did flights where I paid more for us in baggage than what our flight cost.
Yeah, we've done that. Because
So keep that in mind if you are budgeting to keep your budget down. Pack light. Pack light.
Yeah.
But I would say, depending on how many places you're going, you could literally budget $0 for movement, or you could budget like $300-$400 for movement, depending on your location that you're going to.
Yeah.
But flights, $100-$150 a flight you want to take, you need to budget, and buses and ferries anywhere from like $2 to $20 on average.
Right. Accommodation.
Accommodation.
I think we averaged anywhere between 8 and 13 for
Yeah,
Southeast Asia.
that was
per night.
for both of us.
For both of us.
For both of us.
That's where we were at.
And we did a mixture of hostels, private rooms, hotels,
Yeah.
homestays, co-working spaces. Like we did a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
You name the kind of accommodation, we did it. We did sleep on the deck of a ship, we did it. Like
Yeah.
you name the accommodation, we did it. So yeah, we averaged $8 to $13. I just have notes down here. We averaged $8 to $13.
And then on the upper end of things was like $30
Yeah.
a night for both of us. That was on the upper end of where we were at with our budget. You can go a lot higher than that, but we try to keep it low.
Yeah, like if we did like a splurge night, like in a really nice spot,
Yeah.
I think the most we paid was like $30 a night. What would you recommend to someone who is like, how much should I set aside
For
accommodation? I would say prepare like $10 a night.
yeah.
Put $10 a night for accommodation, because then you're going to be going a little bit on the higher end of what you're going to need.
Yeah.
And you're going to book a lot cheaper things, and then you're going to have more expensive things, and it's just going to give your budget a little bit more like wiggle room. So I would say $10 per person a night.
Yeah, rounds out about that.
Yeah, because if you like party hostels, you're going to be spending more than $10 a night.
Yeah, that's the thing. They are expensive.
So again, you have to be honest with yourself about like what you like. Like if it's really important to you that you always have a private room because you need your own space, then like your budget's going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
If you are like, I don't really need anything, I just need like a safe spot to lay my head and like somewhere to like put down my stuff.
Yeah.
Then you can go like a lot more affordable. So it depends on you. Food's really affordable in Southeast Asia. You're not going to have a hard time. You could budget $5 a day for food and eat fantastically.
3 meals a day you could eat on that.
You could eat 3 meals a day, snack, street food, like the whole...
Yeah. The other thing is, in Southeast Asia, you have to budget for water, because a lot of the times you can't drink the drinking water. So
it's not a lot of the times. It's please don't do that.
Yeah, unless... Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
unless it's already filtered in the accommodation that you're in and they have filtered water, it's different.
Yeah, but that still comes from a big jug. It still comes from one of those water coolers, like an office water cooler. Yeah,
and
you're fine.
We bring our big bottles with us and we fill those up for free when we're staying there. But if you don't have access to one of those, you need to budget for water, which is probably about anywhere from 50 cents to $1.50 a day for like a 2-liter bottle of water is what you're probably going to need.
Yeah, per person.
Per
it's
day.
hot, and if
It's
you're there in the summer, you might need more than that.
Yeah.
Because it's humid and it's hot and you are sweating. So make sure you budget for water. Please do not drink the water unless you want to die.
Yeah, or to be stuck to the toilet for 2 weeks solid.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Don't drink the water.
Good.
Don't drink the water.
It's not good.
Experiences.
Yeah, so these are the areas that we would splurge.
Yeah, that's our splurge spot, because we both think that like being somewhere is...
Exactly, yeah. What's the point of going to all these beautiful places and all these amazing... and not having these amazing experiences like motorbiking Vietnam, like diving in the...
Like hiking with the orangutan.
Hiking into the jungle with the orangutan. Like... That's the point of going.
For us.
For us.
For us, that's why we're there.
It's that adventure. It's that, like, pushing boundaries. It's all of that. That's why we're there.
Adventure.
Yeah.
We want to climb the mountains. So, yeah. That's why we're there. So,
I think we want to budget per month anywhere between $100
to $400
$400
per person.
Per person.
This depends
for a month.
on what you like to do. Like,
Yes.
we like to do like grander things. So
Yeah.
most like mountain hikes are going to cost you a minimum of $100.
Yeah, some of them are very expensive.
Some of them are very expensive. The Komodo tour that we did.
We did both of us for $485. So
plus you got to fly.
Thereabouts.
Plus you have to fly back to Bali. Plus you have to like
Right.
stay there. So like that starts adding up.
Yeah.
But it's like those adventures is like where some of like your really fun stories
Best
from.
memories come from, yeah.
Now on the other hand, if you're not so much into like bigger adventures and you're more into like a snorkeling trip or like, which are really
Or
fun.
even like a spa day.
Yeah,
or,
spa day. Like you could probably get away with a lower end of the experience budget and
Right.
take that money and like put it in somewhere else.
Yeah.
And maybe get away with like $100 for your experience a month.
Yeah, per month, yeah.
Yeah. So it's really depending on like what kind of you're looking for. But as adventure travelers, we're saying $100 to $400 a month per person. Extras.
Yeah, so like
Shopping, souvenirs,
toiletries that you gotta pick up on the way.
Yeah, like bits and bobs, just like little
everyday things.
like everyday little
adds
things.
up.
Yeah, and you don't even like I know like I always purchase like a cooking kitchen knife when I go places because I like to
Right.
buy fresh fruit and it's really nice to be able to like cut the fruit open. So like it's nice to have a knife that you're just kind of like carrying around with you, and they're usually like $1, but like.
But that ends up saving you money rather than buying like chocolate
Yeah,
fruit.
but it's just like extra stuff
Yeah.
that you pick up along the way, right? A sewing kit, maybe your like button fell off, and you need to fix
Yeah.
it. So extras, I think, really depends on you, but I'd say like anywhere from like $20 to $50 a month.
Yeah, that
would
sounds
be,
about right. Yeah,
you know,
we're
would be
typically
just
on the
fine.
lower end of that, but yeah.
20 to 50
is good.
would cover you for whatever extra bits and bobs.
The most important thing is to not forget your fixed expenses back home.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we are lucky enough not to have to pay rent
Yeah.
while we were away, so that was good.
But we had some other expenses.
But we had some other expenses that other people typically
like car
wouldn't.
insurance, motorcycle insurance, van
Yes.
insurance, Netflix account,
Phone bill,
phone bill. We have like some subscriptions that like we didn't
like software subscriptions, things like that.
things like that. Now those bills aren't going anywhere. You still have to make sure you budget
Pay
them.
them. Yes.
And that's going to be so individual. So I can't tell you what your fixed expenses are back home.
The only advice you could give you is to try and minimize them as
Yeah,
much as possible.
So if you have like, there's a big question. It's like, do you travel when you have debt or do you wait till your debt's paid off? That's not where we're going with today,
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother podcast episode
Right.
all in itself. And that's so personal, but like, remember you have those payments.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to either defer on them or put enough money aside and back that those payments are going to be getting paid back home while you can still go out
Yeah.
and do everything you want. So don't forget about your fixed payments.
Then
Visas,
getting into each country, typically they're pretty affordable.
yeah, they're usually affordable. It depends on what countries you're going to, what passport you're traveling on. If you're new here, I travel on a U.S. passport, and Ryan travels on an Ireland passport,
Right.
which is for Southeast Asia.
They're both pretty good.
They're both pretty good, and we have almost the same regulations.
Pretty
everywhere.
much. Like there's
There's a couple
little bit of
differences,
yeah.
but
yeah, for the most part, we're both
yeah,
pretty
like
good. But like visas are going to cost you anywhere between like, sometimes it's as low as like $5, and then it could be up to like $70 depending.
yeah, I feel like on average it's like 35.
It's around 35 is where
$40 is usually
typically.
on average.
And that's usually for a 30-day visa.
yes.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where you're going, how long you're going there. But remember to look into the visa prices. They're not going to change.
Right.
So those are things that you're going to know well beforehand, and you're going to be able to say, okay, I need a total of $100 for visas for the places I'm going to be going.
Right. Yeah.
So I think those are all the different categories
For spending, yes.
for spending. I don't think we missed anything, but like
So then let's get into like generalization, like overall per day
per day, yeah.
budgeting.
I'd say for a single traveler, $40 a day minimum. You can do this cheaper, but the way that I like to travel and the
Right.
things that I like to do and experiences and everything like that, I would say about $40 a day.
Yeah.
to like really get to see everything and enjoy everything, in my opinion, in an area.
And then the thing is, with a couple, then that doesn't double to $80 necessarily.
No.
We think around $65, $66 is the sweet spot for a couple, because you get to save on accommodation because you can book together, and also on food because you're buying we split food, we share food, so that way you don't have to buy like two different things, so you can try them. She could get one, I could get the other, and we could split them, and then that way we're not spending double. So it doesn't work out 100% double. But $40 a day works out about...
anywhere from like $1,200 to $1,500 a month.
Right.
For a single solo traveler, I would say, doing on a budget, but still getting to enjoy everything.
Yeah, and then for a couple, we're saying around $2,000 to $2,400 a month.
To travel and do everything and like have all the experiences.
And all of these prices are in US dollars.
Yes, they are in US dollars. And now you could do it cheaper and you can do it a lot more expensive. This is just us.
Yeah.
Now we have some numbers.
We actually do, yeah. What we actually spent.
Yeah. Month by month.
Month by month, yeah. So in Vietnam, for a full month, including motorbike rentals and
so this doesn't include our flights.
This does not include our flight out to Vietnam. No, and it doesn't include flights between countries. But this is what we spent for a month in each country.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So Vietnam, we spent $1,962, including motorbike rentals for both of us. But we got the money back from the deposits. So that's...
So we spent less than that?
No, that's how much we spent.
After we got the money back.
After we got the money back from the deposits, yeah.
Don't make this so difficult.
I'm not. Philippines, we spent $2,331. We went a little bit over budget because I wanted to do my PADI certification, and those are a little bit pricey.
But we didn't really go over budget.
Because
Because some months are lower and some months are higher.
Yeah, and ways we save money, we don't buy each other like birthday gifts or anniversary gifts or anything like that. Then Bangkok and Sumatra and back to Bangkok again. It was 1 month and we spent $1,750.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
that was March.
That was March. Borneo, we were there for 2 weeks and it was very expensive because I crashed the drone and I also drowned our microphones. So I spent $2,667.
But if you subtract the drone
and the mics were $1,500. So then you're right around we're right around $1,000 for 2 weeks, which is right in with our budget.
Yeah.
Then Bali, Lombok, and the Komodo Island tour, everything included was $2,178, and the Komodo Island tour was $489 of those dollars.
Yeah. So most of it went to.
Well, a quarter of it.
A quarter of it went to one trip.
But that was, again, one of the things that we really, really wanted to do, and we budgeted for that.
Yeah. I think that... So we stayed right around, just over $2,000 a month.
Yes, with a couple splurges here and there.
And do you feel like you missed out on anything in any of those places?
No.
Me neither.
I don't think so. No.
So if you were telling a couple who was going out, or like... preparing to go out traveling, and they were like wanted a tip with the budget, would that be your tip?
Yeah, I think so. I think like $2,000 to $2,400 is the sweet spot, and some things are overpriced and not worth it, and then other things are expensive, but they're like once in a lifetime opportunities that you should just jump on and do it because it's worth it.
Yeah, so that would be if we were going out for the first time again, that's what we wish we would have known as a couple to put back for flights in and out of Southeast Asia, to put back $1,500 to $2,000 per person. And for the couple per month, put back $2,000 to $2,400 a month for how long you want to go traveling.
Right.
All right, that's it. If you want more information on this, let us know in the comments down below. And if you want more from us, you can find us at Rangeless_ on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and on Spotify. Until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.